Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. We are live on the Transformational Storytellers show. And today I have an amazing guest as usual, and you are guaranteed to love her. So today I have the founder of Roadmap to Marriage, educator, author, speaker, nationally board certified teacher, all of that. She's a certified coach. Listen to this. She's a stepmother and a pastor's wife. So Dr. Paula C. Perez, she uses her four-step framework to work with single Christian women, that means women of faith, who desire to attract and marry their purpose partner. So, hi, Paula. It's so good to see
Hello. It's good to see you, Dr. Elina. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm even better now that I'm interviewing you.
Oh,
I,
thank you.
yes, I love everything that you have to share. And many of our audience may not share the same faith as you and I do. And that doesn't matter. You're still going to gain a lot of insights from Paula because her story is incredible. So, Dr. Paula, would you please share your story with our audience today?
I definitely will. I think even if they haven't experienced my particular story, they've experienced some type of heartbreak, some type of loss. And I'll never forget the day I was alone. And I remember this cloudy figure coming towards my car. But my face was moist with salty tears and mucus because I had been crying so hard. So I put my hands out and then lowered my window. And as the guy came to the car, he started asking me questions. And he said, "Didn't you realize that you rolled right through that stop sign? License and registration." So you know who that was. Yes, it was a cop.
I think many of us have experienced that.
Oh, yes. Your heart starts racing. And I was crying. And I think at first he didn't realize I was crying. And he said to me, "You don't have to cry." And I couldn't help it. I just blurted out my whole story to him and started saying, I called my engagement off. He didn't fight for me. I just picked up my wedding dress. My body aches and I haven't been sleeping and I'm barely eating. And the officer, you could tell he was getting a little flushed. His cheeks were getting red. And I don't think he knew what to do with me because I was crying so hard. And he said to me, "Just dry your eyes. It's his loss. Take a few minutes, get yourself together, and then try to have a wonderful day." So then he turned and he left. And then it hit me. Wait, he didn't give me a ticket. In that moment, I let out a laugh that started from my belly and moved all the way through my body. And I found that laughter in that moment is great for the soul, especially during heartbreak. So the officer's words to me, they really spoke life, they reminded me life is worth living. And just because something doesn't work out the way that I thought it would, that it was really not my issue, it's my ex's issue. He was the one that should be crying. And it was so funny. That was the breakthrough for me. I had not laughed in months. All I was doing is crying and just wallowing in my sorrow. But that laughter broke something in me and it reignited my faith. And faith is an acronym. I probably because I'm an educator, but I'm always using acronyms. And in that moment, with that laughter, I started to find my joy again. And I learned so many valuable lessons. And the Lord gave me this faith, the acronym faith. The F stands for focus on the funny. A lot of times we get so caught up in our drama and we just focus on the negative. So he taught me to look for something funny in every situation. A in faith is ask others for help. For me, that also includes asking Jesus because he's the source of my strength. But whoever you trust, turn to them for help. They want to be there to support you and to help you. And then for me, the I stands for inform your faith with truth. I realized that I was holding on to a lot of lies. He showed me who he was. I needed to believe him and accept that no, this brother is not going to change. Let it go. Let move on. Let it go. The T in faith, for me, I writing is so therapeutic. So taking time to journal and to write down your feelings. Sometimes it's hard to express them, but when you take the time to write it down, it helps to get it out your system. And finally, the H in faith for me was to hold on and wait for the best. So that really worked for me. You know, I have held on, and as you said, it took a while. I think it was probably 13 years after that incident that I met the love of my life. And now I have the dream life. I couldn't find a better partner.
Mhm. Wow. Paula, there are so many nuggets in there, but I just want to say, I think we can all relate to that moment of being disappointed, feeling betrayed, feeling heartbroken. I mean, it is just one of those real moments where everything seems blurry, even stop signs.
Yes.
But I really, love your story because it's just a tiny piece of your big story, which you have written about in your book. And also you have several books, but there's a particular book where that story is found, and I know that this lesson will help all of us. I mean, just the F alone, finding the funny. I
Yes.
mean, everything else is great. And I am like you, I love acronyms, but I really love the reality of someone's kindness, someone's insight, someone's ability to make us laugh can completely change a situation for us in a perspective. And I really think that not only single women listening to us today, but everyone can definitely find the funny in any situation in our lives. So I definitely resonate with that. And I want to think about the fact that you said he's not going to change. I got to let him go. And And the reason why I want to ponder on that is because, I've been up with excuses in relationships, in friendships, and all across the board. And so I want to ask you real quickly, how can we let go? I mean, it sounds great, but I'm learning that lesson right now, but I've learned that it is a hard one for me. So what are some tips or one tip that you could give us about the art of letting go when people show us they're not for us?
Believe me, it is hard. It took me months to truly let go of this guy because he was so in my system. You know, I thought I was going to live my happily ever after with him, and that disappointment was there. But I needed to refocus and to recenter me and my well being and my safety and my health and emotional wellness. So for me, just doing things that made me feel good helped to let that sorrow and the grief of that loss to go. So doing things that I enjoyed, such as writing or going out and walking. I love being in nature. And there's just something about walking barefoot outside, grounding yourself in that nature. I mean, God created this wonderful place. And I find such serenity in being outside, being near water. I love being near water because it has such a calming effect. So for me, it was gradual. It was definitely gradual. But learning to focus on what I loved and not focusing on what I felt I lost. That
Ooh,
was the secret for me.
ooh, that is a good one. Thank you. That's very practical. And I really love the visual of being barefoot in nature, just something so simple that can get us back to who we are and
Yes.
who we're meant to be. I love it. I love it so much. So you share your story in your book, in your speeches. I know that you speak nationally and internationally, and you do so much to help women, single women of faith worldwide. And that's whether they are never married and single, or divorced and
Mhm.
single, or widowed and
Amen.
single. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter why you're single, but you help them to really reclaim who they are and find that partner of their dreams. So why do you tell your stories in those settings? Why do you think storytelling matters?
Oh, storytelling can be so transformative. And I think that's one reason why I connect so strongly with you. You have a method, you have a framework that you've taught us that really helps to drive home the message and helps to influence change in one's life. And I have found that the women that I speak to, number one, they find hope in my story. Part of my story was I was a 49-year-old virgin when I got married, and God knows that wasn't the plan. Yes, it was the plan to remain a virgin, but I had no plans of staying single and unmarried until I was 49. But that was my plight in life. And first of all, they don't think anybody is in their 40s or their 50s or 60s waiting for the right one before they settle. So that gives them hope. The other aspect is my story is such a beautiful one. It's not perfect. A lot of things that I did that screwed up. I didn't say no to a guy soon enough. I didn't let go soon enough. I tried to force situations when I knew there were blinking red flags saying he's not it. No, but sometimes we allow the pressure of society, the pressure of family to push us and to drive us. And we feel like we have to meet somebody's expectations rather than doing our own journey, living our own life. So they see the ups and downs of my journey. They see how I screwed up. They see when I got it right. And when I finally get to the point where I stopped living for love, in the sense that all of my behavior for several years was I got to get a man. I got to get married. My younger brother got married. Oh no, where's my man? Now another brother got married. Oh no, where's my. I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to love my life. I'm going to do all the things. I'm not going to wait until I get married to buy, to travel, to do all of the things. And women, when they see that and when they read the story, it just seems to resonate with them and let them know it is possible. I can do this. And not only can I hold out for love, but I can love the life that I'm living now. So I think they just gain a lot of strength from my story, and it helps them as they journey on.
I love that. Oh, that is so beautiful, and definitely a great reason to tell your story. And I have really enjoyed working with you because I absolutely resonate with everything you're doing. I am a single woman of faith, and I also, can relate to the beautiful transformative power of storytelling. And we see that in the Bible, how storytelling was used to
Yeah.
inspire transformation. And so a transformational story can definitely change the game for anyone who reads it, but also anyone who writes it. So we all win.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you think you love what you do? Besides, of course, we learned this story and how it deeply impacted you, but what is the work that you do, and what do you love about it?
For me, my motivation is family. I
Mhm.
was blessed to be in a family that's very, very loving, very supportive parents, always there, always there. I mean, I share a story oftentimes when I'm speaking about just the dedication of my parents. I remember being in college, waking up just depressed one day. I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And it was a Sunday morning. My dad is a pastor. He answered the phone. Instead of saying, "We'll come get you at the end of service," he said, "We'll be right there." And they were there within an hour. He let go of his responsibility at church. He didn't stay and finish the sermon. He didn't say, Paula, you got to get it together. He was there for me. So I know the power of kingdom family. And I feel such a passion for helping families to heal and families to be whole and to be godly centered. So, as I thought about my process in my life, I was in education for over 30 years. So, I've always worked with children, and I think about the families and the disagreements in my office as principal and the fights and ah, all of the things that come with the drama of separation or heartbreak or divorce. And I kept thinking, man, if they chose better from the start, maybe they could have avoided some of this. So it's my heart to help kingdom families become and to grow and to really thrive in this season. I think that's what our world needs, families that are truly Christ centered, that show through empathy, through love, through support, what family looks like. Because our God is a loving God, and there's just so much hatred right now. I just want to help women in particular find the lasting love and help them to navigate this season in their life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that definitely is father. How what an example for you, and can tell that that definitely played a part in you not settling for someone who didn't really quite fit those values and that example. And what a beautiful mission you have to avoid the heartache, avoid the heartbreak, avoid the, I would say, the plague of family breakup, because definitely that's something that plagues society in turn. Um, and what a beautiful, I would say, what a beautiful testimony I have of redemption as well.
Amen. Yes.
So,
Yes.
so definitely, we can prevent, but we can also redeem these situations. So I
Amen.
really love that. Well, I could talk to you forever, but I would love to ask you to share something with the audience that you feel that they could do to basically get started on the journey that you lead. And I know that you have retreats that you lead, that you have programs that you teach online. And I'm going to definitely put in all of the links to connect with Dr. Paula C. Perez in the show notes. However, what is something that you feel that people can do right now and that you hope that they take away from hearing your stories today?
I think again, focus on the funny. Regardless of what situation, I think all of us can think back to times. Think about being in church and you see something that just strikes you funny and you can't help but laugh. I've even been at funerals where I saw something and it cracks me up. And that shift in our energy, a merry heart is great medicine. And I just believe that laughter is purposeful and it's something that each of us can enjoy if we try to. And so focus on the funny, write down those positive things in that moment and write down those affirmations, those things that make you feel positive about yourself, and you'll be on your way to healing.
I love that. Thank you so much. Such an example for single women everywhere and for married women as well, because now you are a married woman after being what you call a 49-year-old virgin. And now you're a wife, you're a stepmother, you are a leader, and definitely an example to all of us. I'm grateful for all of the programs that you've created to help single women worldwide. And everyone, the show notes has all the links for you to connect with Dr. Paula C. Perez. Make sure you take advantage of that. And we will see you next Thursday. Mwah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.